Morning, James. I just wondered what your reaction was to the appeal by Kemar Roofe, have his ban overturned, thrown out by UEFA.
I've not really thought about it as of late, so it's nothing I can really comment on as of now.
Andrew McLean, please.
Morning, James. Always a tough trip going to Livingston. How big a threat do you think they pose to your unbeaten league record this season?
I think they'll just be they'll also be tough on the night. Obviously on an AstroTurf pitch, but we know what's required. We've prepared really well during the week, and we'll just go there with our game plan and hopefully execute and get the 3 points. But we know it'll be tough. But like I said, if we go over there, do what we need to do, then we should come away with the 3 points.
Andy Newport, please.
James, obviously, end of this week, you've got a rather special day coming up. How much have you been allowed yourself to think about that moment after the Aberdeen game? You finally get your hands on that trophy. I
think each day as it goes on, it's the excitement's getting more and more. So yeah, we've got obviously full focus is on tomorrow's game, and then to focus on obviously Aberdeen, playing them first. Then I think all the joys, the excitements, the emotions will just be coming out straight after the game. So yeah, can't wait.
Gabriel, please.
Hi, James. Your manager's up for the Manager of the Year award. Do you think he deserves to win it, and if so, why?
Well, yeah. If I was going to say managers for the Manager of the Year, it's been exceptional since we've came in. We've been unbeaten in the league. We've won the league. Obviously, the cups we've not managed to do so well, but we know where we need to learn from, and obviously how well we've done in Europe. So I'm always going to back my manager.
Jordan.
Morning, James.
Morning.
The Lowland League voted through a proposal to put Rangers and Celtic B teams into the league next season. Just as a young player, obviously at Newcastle, you had a few loans yourself. I just wondered what that exposure to first team football at an early age, what benefits do you think that would give to the young players at Rangers?
I think it's crucial for young players to play men's football. I did that when I went on my first loan move to Gateshead in the conference, to play proper men's football. You get a grasp of playing against people, they're playing for the livelihood, and you're playing for something, and obviously to win something. So I think it'd be great if it goes ahead. It'd be good for the young lads.
Ronnie, go ahead, please.
You mentioned, James, 2 games to go. How sweet would it be come the end of the season if you did manage to make it unbeaten?
Well, obviously it would be sweet, but we know we've got 2 tough games ahead of ourselves. So we've just got to focus on tomorrow night and get the job done there, and then we'll see what happens at Aberdeen. But obviously our full focus is on tomorrow, trying to get a job done, and obviously as a defence, we want to try and get another clean sheet to see if we can get that record as well.
David Edgar to finish, please.
Hi, James. Obviously, it's been one game at a time all season, but how difficult is it to avoid maybe just your eyes going ahead to Saturday a little bit?
It's been pretty easy, because obviously we won the league a good while ago, so we've had plenty of games in between that. So it's been one of those where you've just been able to focus on each game as they come on, and nothing's really changed. Obviously, excitement's building. We know it's only till Saturday when it happens, but we're so fully focused on finishing the season off strong. We don't want any hiccups or to spoil a good season what we've had.
Thank you. Here's any team news ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah. So Borna Barisic won't make tomorrow. He's out tomorrow. He's got an outside chance of making the weekend or being involved at the weekend. Scott Arfield went out with the physio yesterday to do some pitch work and didn't have any issues. There's an outside chance that he could be involved at the weekend as well, but won't make tomorrow. Balogun, Katic, Hollander, I think that's all of them. Ryan Jack, they obviously won't play again this season. What I will say is Ryan Jack's had successful surgery. We spoke to the surgeon after the operation and he was really happy with how that went. And he'll start his rehab now and hopefully we'll have him back sometime in pre-season.
Thank you.
Andrew McLean, please.
Morning, Stephen. We heard last night that the B team's proposal has been voted through in the Lowland League. Can you just tell us a bit about what the benefits you feel there will be for the club next season with that going through?
This is something that I've left to Ross and Craig to focus on. Obviously, we've been focusing on the season and the games and the challenges. I've obviously been involved in some of the conversations. I think it'll be fantastic for everyone if people obviously decide not to think just about themselves. If you're thinking about the country and Scotland and improving the national team on all levels, I think what we want is to give the kids a better chance to develop into better players. And I think if you can play against men earlier, if you can play for important points and give these kids more responsibility and put them in precious situations and playing in front of more crowds and challenged, I think that can only be for the benefit of the country. Obviously, I'm sitting here as the Rangers manager, and a lot of people think, well, you're only saying that because you're at Rangers and you're being a bit selfish. I understand them opinions as well. But if I try and take myself out of the Rangers environment to answer the question and think about the Scottish game and the national team, I think this is a big plus for Steve Clarke and any future Scotland manager, that a lot more Scottish kids are getting challenged earlier, playing in men's football, playing for points, playing in front of crowds. That brings your development on a lot quicker than playing games that, I wouldn't say don't matter, but have less significance and pressure on them.
Andy Newport, please.
Hi, Stephen. Just going back to Ryan Jack, with him being sort of heading back towards pre-season, does that mean that he could have a chance of playing in the Champions League qualifiers? And if so, how much a boost would that be?
I think it's too early to say that at the moment. You're looking at probably somewhere around a 3-month rehab from surgery. And that's assuming everything goes according to plan. So I think it's too early to put a date or a game or a target on that. If he can be available, that's obviously would be fantastic news for everyone connected to the club. But one thing's for sure, we won't be rushing it. It's the type of surgery in an area where you can't afford to rush or push. You've got to let it take its course and let it come back. I know Jacko will be pushing as hard as he can to be back as quick as he can, but we'll be guided by the surgeons and the medical advice on that. And the key for me is to not put a time on this and get Ryan Jack back in the best possible shape he can be at so he can repeat games, because if he does, he makes my team and squad a lot stronger, that's for sure.
Jordan Campbell, please.
Well, Stephen, I know you said that Ryan obviously is you don't know for sure when he'll be back, but just looking at the players that are going to be suspended for those qualifiers, Roof, Kamara, Balogun, does that change your recruitment in terms of when you need to bring in players like Fashion Sakala? Do you envisage bringing in a few more earlier to make sure you're ready for it?
Not just on the back of the Champions League qualifiers. We actually don't know whether we're going to have to play 4 qualifiers or 2 at the moment. Obviously, things are still working themselves out in terms of whether we're going to have to go in round 3 or whether we go in round 4. So we might get a bit more time, which could be helpful. We'll have to just wait and see how other leagues finish and what happens from that point of view. We have a recruitment strategy here where it doesn't stop. I think obviously Jack Simpson and Scott Wright and getting Fashion Sakala done and dusted is helpful to me, because they will be here from the first day of pre-season. And having Scott and Jack in earlier, I think you can see they've already starting to settle. Jack obviously took a little bit more time than Scott, but we knew that because he hadn't played much at Bournemouth. But they're cooking away nicely. They'll be ready to go with a strong pre-season behind them. They'll obviously be like 2 new signings as well. Fashion Sakala's coming in after a productive season in Belgium. He will make us a lot quicker, a lot more dynamic. gives the team and the squad a lot more pace in the forward areas. So I'm really excited to work with him. There's potential there on a big scale, so that's an exciting one. And there's other areas of the team and the squad that we're actively, in the background working towards strengthening. And come the Champions League qualifiers, whether it's the third round or the fourth, we will have a team and a squad ready to go and give it our best shot. It won't be a perfect situation, whatever happens recruitment-wise, because not having Kamar Roof and Glenn Kamara and Liam Balogun is obviously a huge blow to the club. That's just the way it is. But it's my job to make sure that the squad can try and cope without them names, and I'll do everything I can to put us in the best place.
Gabriel.
Hi, Stephen. You're up for the Manager of the Year award. I think we find out tomorrow morning. What would it mean to you to win that award?
I think it'd be a bonus. I think individual awards for me, whether it was a player or now as a manager, I always see them as a bonus. I think the competition's really strong. There's some fantastic coaches and managers in this league. So if I was to win it, I'd be very flattered and humbled. Of course I would, but we'll wait and see. And, I'll answer any questions moving forward if I win it or if I don't win it, and we'll go from there.